Hi viewers, in this video we are presenting bills of exchange for JO aspirants. Actually, in the business, transactions are divided into two types. One is cash transactions and another one is debt transactions. In cash transactions, when the buying or selling goods, immediately payment are received cash. But debt transactions, goods are sold but not received cash. The cash will receive in the future events. So, cash receiving in the future purpose, the seller writes a letter, that is one of the bill. So, the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 section 5 defines about bills of exchange. A bill of exchange is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or the bearer of the instrument. So, this is called as a bill of exchange. As per this definition, the bill contains these features. These are, it must be in writing, it must be an order to pay, the order must be unconditional, it must be signed by maker or drawer, it specifies the date. However, in the bill of exchange, the parties are three. First one is called as a drawer. The drawer is the person who makes the bill, is generally creditor or seller. And the second one are drawee. The drawee becomes acceptor, is normally the buyer of the goods. And finally, payee, bill amount collecting person. The payee may be the drawer himself or some other person. Actually, the bill is written for specific period. However, the buyer asking for more days. The more 3 days are grace days. That means the date on which the bill comes due for payment is called the due date. Period of 3 days known as grace days. If sometimes the buyer doesn't pay in the due date, that is called as a dishonor of bills. When the acceptor fails to make the payment on the due date, the bill is said to be dishonored. When the bill is dishonored on the due date, the holder of the bill can get such fact noted on the bill by a notary public to prove the fact of dishonor. By the acceptor, these charges are called by noting charges. The noting charges are paid by drawer and then collecting from drawee. And next one is renewal of bill. If drawee unable to pay the amount on the due date, then request sent to drawer for write a new bill. If the drawer accepted and write a new bill with or without interest, that is called as a renewal of bill. So, renewal of bill means when the acceptor of a bill is unable to honor the bill on the due date, he may request the drawer to cancel the original bill and draw on him a new bill for another period. In such a case, the acceptor has to pay interest for the extended period to the drawer. Interest can be either paid in cash or may be included in the new bill. And next one is retiring a bill. If drawee paid money before the period, that is called retiring a bill. Making payment before the date of maturity, that is called as a retiring a bill. And next one is accommodation of bills. Actually, the bills are recorded for debt transactions or debt sales. But sometimes mutual understanding purpose, drawer and drawee return bills for getting cash immediately, and the bills are discounted at bank, and finally on the due date the drawer and drawee honor the bill in the bank. So, accommodation bills. Sometimes a bill of exchange can be accepted without consideration to help accommodation of drawer and acceptor or drawee. So, first one is when it is drawer for the accommodation of drawer only. A person in need of money draws a bill of another person who accepts the bill and returns it to the drawer. The drawer gets the bill discounted with his bank and uses the proceeds till the maturity of the bill. On the due date, the drawer remits the amount of the bill to the accepted, who in turn honor the bill. And second one is when the bill is drawn for the mutual accommodation on the drawer and accepted. The drawer draws a bill on the another person who accepts it without consideration. The drawer gets the bill discounted with the bank and the proceeds are shared by the drawer and accepted in agreed proportions. They also share the discounted in the same proportion in which they share the cash proceeds of the bill. Before the due date of the bill, the drawer sends his proportion to the drawee to enable him to meet the bill by adding his share of money. In the accommodation of bills, finally, third one is where two persons are in need of funds. They draw bill on each other for equal or different amounts. After securing acceptance, both get their bills discounted with their respective banks. They share the discount in proportion to the amount shared by them. Both the bills may be honored or dishonored on due date. In the bills of exchange, journal entries written down by drawer and drawee. So, in the books of drawer, when goods are sold, drawee account debtor to sales account. Received acceptance from drawee, bills receivable account debtor to drawee account. So, these two are regularly written for any transaction. However, the bill honor purpose, that is different types of First one is when the bill is honored on the due date, cash or bank account debited to bills receivable account. Second point is when the drawer endorses the bill to his drawee, endorsee account debited to bills receivable account. The third case is when the drawer of the bill gets it discounted with bank account debited, discount account debited to bills receivable account. The final fourth point is when the drawer sends the bill to bank for collection. In this procedure, we want to write two entries. First one is when the bill is sent for collection. Bill sent to bank for collection account debited to bills receivable account. Second one is when the bill is actually collected, bank account debited to bill sent to bank for collection. The drawee also writes the journal entries for goods are purchased. Purchases account debited to drawer account. Acceptance given purpose, drawer account debited to bills payable account. Due date make payment, bills payable account debited to cash account. So we have note point here, that is the drawer endorsed bill are discounted at bank or sent for collection to bank, no entry recorded by drawee. So this is the procedure for bills of exchange. However, we are present practice bits for this chapter in next video. So like and share the video and don't forget the subscribe. All the best.